Hello, everyone, and good morning, students from Ukraine. I'm Kawaguchi Shota. I'm a Saitama University student. I major in politics at Saitama University. Me and Nemoto-san will give a presentation about Japanese society and popular literature in Japan today. First, what do you think of Japan? I think many people think of Toyota or Honda or any other Japanese corporations that do business globally. You also think of Tokyo because it is the largest population city in the world. I think you also think of Japanese culture, such as comic books, animations, and video games such as Mario games. Moreover, Japan is still the third largest economy in the world after US and China. But India and Germany are rising, so I don't know Japan will remain the third largest economy in the future. However, viewed from inside Japan, you can see the different Japan. I will talk about lost 30 years in Japan and karoshi, death from overwork, and you must catch the mood in a room in Japan. First, let me talk about lost 30 years in Japan since 1990s. Until 1990s, Japan had experienced rapid economic growth and bubble economy in 1980s and 90s. The Japanese asset price bubble was an economic bubble in Japan from 1896 to 1991, in which real estate and stock market prices were greatly inflated. However, in 1992, this price bubble burst and Japan's economy stagnated. For 30 years since 1992, Japan have been suffered from economic stagnation. We call this the lost 30 years. There have been no GDP growth since then. As you can see in the line graph, China, South Korea, and other major countries have experienced economic growth since 1990s, but Japan not. Our average wage have been in stagnation. Second, death from overwork, we call this karoshi, is one of the most serious problems in Japan. According to the Ministry of Health, more than 2,000 people in Japan committed suicides in 2019. The head of a number of work-related suicides were about 2,000 in 2019. The head of International Labor Organization said the Japanese word karoshi, death from overwork, is notorious all over the world. Finally, you must catch the mood in room in Japan. Taking a conference, for example, you have to say yes if everybody say yes in Japan. If you say no, you would not feel comfortable at work from next day, because Japan has a long history of being as a farmer. Catching the mood was necessary to work in the rice field together. There's a pressure to say yes. Now he is Manabe Shukuro, who won the Nobel Prize in physics this year. Said that in Japan, if you ask some question, you get yes or no. However, when the Japanese say yes, it does not necessarily mean yes. It could mean no. But in the US, I can do things I want. I don't worry about what other people feel. I don't want to go back to Japan because I'm not capable of living harmoniously. So let me explain popular literature in today's Japan. In such circumstances, some popular literature books have enjoyed tremendous popularity among Japanese people. We the Bubble Economy Hires is one of them. We the Bubble Economy, the left one, Japanese bank employee who fights against unreasonable boss superior at bank. Dramatized We Bubble Economy Hires. A bank employee fights against unreasonable boss in drama and won the hearts of Japanese people. Hanzawa was a bank employee and very talented bank employee. However, he was made to bear full responsibility for the loss of a big loan by his superior. Hanzawa said no to bear responsibility and found out the truth of the matter that his superior trapped him and determined to get revenge on his superior. Hanzawa obtained the clear evidence that Asano engaged in corruption and forced responsibility for the loss of a big loan to Hanzawa. Hanzawa did not bring criminal charges against Asano. Instead, made a deal with him to get promotion in the bank in exchange. The Hanzawa story of revenge won the hearts of Japanese people who have been suffering from economic stagnation and custom of catching the mood in a room for a long time.
Please back to before slide, before one. Yeah, thank you. Hi, I'm Maho Nemoto. I'm a third-year student in Saitama University of Liberal Arts. And based on the book Kraho, I'd like to introduce and discuss the Japanese society and Japanese character and youth fictions. Please move on to next slide. People are not able to express their innermost thought and feelings. People are concerned about their human relations, the attention of the public, and what others think of them. I believe the Japanese people have such tendencies. I think about this by using the expression of stories. I also think about the importance of examinations and the circle of transmigration as part of the society of Japan. In addition, this Kraho book was chosen as the number book collection that high school students wanted to read. And it's also a youth novel that can be read by adults. It has also been made into an anime and a drama. This is the story of a soul who should have died after making a big mistake in a previous life, never to be reborn again, but who tries again in a lower bound where he fails once because he won the lottery. There are several main points to the story, and since he has no memory of his previous life, he doesn't know what sins he has committed. He lives in the body of someone else in a lower bound, and the quality of the environment depends on the size of his mistakes in his previous life. He has to remind himself of his sins. So the main character soul entered the body of a boy named Makoto, a third-year junior high school student who had attempted to commit suicide by taking drugs 3 days earlier. In the process, he is challenged, he grows, and his world becomes more colorful. At the end of the story, he realized that he was also Makoto in his previous life. People can't say what really on their mind. People are concerned about their surroundings, the attention of the public, and how they are perceived. I think the Japanese people have these tendencies. Makoto had a complex about his appearance. He was lonely at the school because he thought that he was introverted and couldn't get along with others. I think this is due to the environment around him and the uniquely Japanese way of thinking that places importance on being in sync with others, where different opinions and things that are different from those around him are strange. So people think he is strange. Makoto has a dark personality and believes that it is impossible for him to challenge himself and has his own unique world. Because of this, I think that he lives a solitary life, worrying about his surroundings. However, the soul that entered Makoto is not actually his own body or life, but a temporal lodging. Therefore, he doesn't care about his surroundings. So it expresses the way he acts as he pleases without caring about his surroundings. Also, the art room is a good place for Makoto because he doesn't have to worry about his surroundings and can concentrate. He was bound by the impressions of those around him. The image that represents me is not necessarily the real me. The people around me have made up their own minds about me, and I'm bound by their images. This is also evident in the line of Makoto. Examinations are a major issue in Japan, and I believe that this novel plays an important role at the crossroad, where family issues are resolved through examinations. The cycle of transmigration is a process by which a person repeatedly lives and dies and reborn into a new life. Looking at a colorful story, there are several parts that reflect the idea of cycle of transmigrations. In the beginning of the story, there is a section that explains the setting of the story. As I explained, our soul that is supposed to be dead goes out of the cycle of transmigrations and tries again. It means he is in the middle of a cycle of death and rebirth into something new. Also, the setting where he goes to the lower bound and whose body he is placed in, and whether the environment is good or bad based on the weight of his mistakes in his previous life, is based on the idea of the cycle of transmigrations. It is a story about a person who is always lonely, who doesn't have a clear idea of what he wants to do. Through some challenges, he makes his first friends and decides what he wants to do. Also, the story is about family problems and how the initial impressions of family members change as they open up to each other, and how the distance between family members grows closer. Everyone wants to change the past, and the story is about changing oneself through repeated challenges in the form of rebirth and redoing one's life. This is a story that will stick with anyone who has ever wanted to start their life over and feel the love of family and friends. It contains a messages that rebirth is possible for anyone if they keep challenging themselves. And if they can achieve it, they can change the world in a livable and colorful way. It teaches us the importance of facing our own mental weaknesses and think for ourselves. If I think of myself as a homestay in this world, I will be able to live comfortably. In summary, our contents may seem quite different, but we have shown that we can read about Japanese society and Japaneseness from novels. That's all. Thank you for your attention.